What would really happen if Russia and China were behind Iran? A surprising statement came from Iran's Foreign Minister, Abbas Araghchi. On Saturday, March 14th, he revealed that Russia and China have provided various forms of support to Iran, including military cooperation. According to Araghchi, this strategic relationship is nothing new. They have maintained close cooperation for a long time, and the relationship continues to this day, becoming even deeper in the military sphere. If Iran is backed by Russia and China, the big question is, who would be ready to stand behind the United States? Let's dive deeper. Exclusive interview with MS Now. Araghchi, speaking in his typically guarded diplomatic style, refused to specify the nature of the military assistance. He simply described the partnership as very good cooperation. However, for military and intelligence observers, the details can be inferred from the movement of strategic assets on the ground. One of the most crucial elements of this cooperation is the exchange of intelligence and targeting data. Imagine a system in which Iran is no longer blind to its adversaries' movements. With satellite data and radar surveillance support from Russia and China, Iran would gain additional eyes capable of seeing beyond the horizon. Russia, with its sophisticated constellation of reconnaissance satellites, is capable of supplying high-resolution images of enemy military bases across the Middle East in real time. Such information is extremely vital. It allows Iran to know the positions of warships, the movements of fighter jets, and even the coordinates of opposing military bases with deadly accuracy. Without this data, a nation is merely a fighter slashing in the dark. With this support, Iran possesses a clear digital map showing who is approaching and where the threat is coming from. Beyond having eyes in the sky, air defense has become a central pillar of this cooperation. Russia is widely known as a producer of some of the world's most lethal air defense systems. Reports about the potential delivery of the S-400 system to Iran have long been a hot topic among policymakers at the Pentagon. The S-400 is not merely a combination of radar and missiles. It is a shield capable of tracking and shooting down dozens of targets simultaneously, ranging from ballistic missiles to the newest generation of fighter jets. Its ability to detect threats from extremely long distances provides Iran with a longer reaction time. Moreover, the presence of long-range Russian radar designed specifically to detect stealth aircraft, such as the United States F-35, could potentially undermine the air superiority long claimed by the West. If this system were fully integrated, then air operations over Iranian skies would become an extremely high-risk mission for any pilot. It does not stop there. Iran's military buildup also extends to heavy combat assets. Reports of plans to deliver Su-35 fighter jets from Russia have further heightened tensions in the region. The Su-35, known as the Flanker-E, is a fighter aircraft with extraordinary maneuverability and electronic warfare systems capable of disrupting enemy radar. In the hands of Iranian pilots, the presence of these aircraft could dramatically alter the balance of air power in the Persian Gulf. Combined with other advanced electronic warfare systems, Iran is attempting to build an environment in which enemy technology cannot function as intended, creating a zone that is extremely difficult for aerial infiltration to penetrate. While Russia focuses on massive hardware, China plays a subtler yet highly strategic role through its support in navigation and communication technology. One of Beijing's most significant contributions is providing access to the BeiDou satellite navigation system. For years, many of the world's weapon systems have depended on the United States' GPS. However, by switching to BeiDou, Iran ensures that its missiles and drones cannot be switched off or misled through Western manipulation of GPS signals. This technology makes Iran's precision strikes more accurate and independent. In addition, China also provides encrypted military communication systems that ensure instructions from the command center in Tehran cannot be intercepted, as well as satellite data that continuously monitors every vessel passing through those strategic waters. Across the table, the United States, under the leadership of Donald Trump, attempted to build a counter-coalition. Trump openly asked at least 7 countries to send warships to help keep the Strait of Hormuz open for international traffic. He approached major traditional and economic partners, such as the United Kingdom, France, Japan, South Korea, and even China. However, the reality on the ground was far from what Washington had hoped for. Instead of receiving strong commitments, Trump faced hesitation and rejection from some of his closest allies. Germany, for example, firmly stated that it would not interfere in the tensions in the Strait of Hormuz. Berlin argued that this conflict was not a battle they had started, and that military involvement would only worsen the situation. Germany's foreign minister at the time, Johann Wadephul, emphasized that NATO had no role in handling the blockade of the strait, particularly because Europe's primary security focus remained on the crisis in Ukraine. For Europe, the threat directly in front of them was far more urgent than disputes in the Persian Gulf. Amid the reluctance of major European countries, an interesting phenomenon has emerged from Ukraine. In the midst of its own struggle against Russia, Ukraine has declared its readiness to assist the United States in the Middle East. Kyiv offered support by sending teams of military experts who have extensive experience dealing with drone attacks, the kind of attacks they have faced for years in their war with Russia. Considering that many of the drones used by Russia in Ukraine are based on Iranian designs, such as the deadly Shahed drones, Ukrainian experts believe they possess valuable technical knowledge that could help U.S. forces protect their bases. However, this sincere offer was met with a cold response from Washington. The United States confidently stated that it does not need Ukraine's assistance in drone defense. Trump even proudly claimed that the United States has the best drone technology in the world and understands the threat better than anyone else, despite the fact that, in terms of real combat experience, Ukraine has far more field data on how Shahed drones operate and where their weaknesses lie in actual battle conditions. This contradiction highlights an irony in modern warfare. As President Zelensky once pointed out, the world is entering an era in which expensive missiles are beginning to be replaced by thousands of cheap drones. A Patriot missile, which costs millions of dollars per shot, is now forced to confront Iranian-made drones that cost only tens of thousands of dollars. This economic imbalance in warfare presents a major challenge to traditional military dominance. What do you think about the current situation? Who will be ready to stand behind the United States? That's all for today's episode, and thanks for watching.